Episode number 2, Tribes of Tatooine.
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we started out, obviously, with Boba Fett and Fennec having the assassin in the court there.
Yeah.
Interrogation time, I guess, was the best way of putting it.
Yeah, they found out that the mayor had supposedly put out the hit.
Mm-hmm. The old trick rank or trick move there.
Yeah.
Yep, just
Empty nest.
throw him in the pit, right? So
yeah.
that was good. At first I thought maybe the rank or was
going
to be another one.
I thought they were kind of, I guess what's the right word I'm looking for here? They were faking them out or whatever.
Yeah.
I knew because they had killed the previous ranker.
Oh, that's right.
So at least that that part of the episode was very much in tune with Star Wars and things we've seen.
Yeah.
And then it it took us in some new directions.
Yeah. So we get the mayor is involved, so they pay a visit to the mayor.
Yeah, Mos Espa.
Yeah, and obviously confronting him and saying, "Look, you can't do this. Yeah, you owe me some stuff."
Yeah, you should be paying
Yeah.
tribute to me.
Yeah. So he leaves them with some parting advice of obviously, and says that being a crime lord is harder than being a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that he wasn't the one directly responsible or anything like that
Mm-hmm.
for them being hired to take him out. And he pointed him in the direction of the cantina again, or So he goes there and confronts that guy. I always forget her name, but
Yeah.
the proprietor, and she points him in another direction as we hear the drums kick in.
Yeah, and
We get a kind of a cool scene there.
absolutely, yeah, with the Hutt twins.
Yeah.
So that's cousins of Jabba the Hutt, which I think is new characters, but obviously pretty cool to see Hutts on screen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they came with muscle.
Oh yeah.
We finally get to see
Yeah, Black Krrsantan.
Krrsantan.
Yeah.
And we'll call him,
Santi.
yeah, one of the nicknames is Santi or BK. Well,
Yeah.
let's call him Santi. It makes it easier. But that was one vicious looking Wookiee. Very intimidating.
Yeah, and for those of you that haven't seen him, he's in the comic books. So
Innovator series.
Vader series and Dr. Aphra.
Okay.
So and he's worked for Jabba the Hutt and worked for Darth Vader. So high-priced bounty hunter, right?
And very. It sounds like he's very well established and very ruthless. And Boba might have his hands full with him and down the road here.
Yeah, vicious Wookiee. He's supposed to be the toughest Wookiee in the galaxy, right? So, it's pretty cool to see a character like that transition from the comics and not seen in any animated cartoons, not seen on live action. So he looked good.
Yeah, and it's still technically sort of a cameo of types and kind of a treat for Star Wars fans, and it was kind of neat to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Because at first I was like, "Oh, who the heck is this?" But then you
yeah.
realize who it is, and it's
Yeah, and I
they
think
got the look right. They got everything. It was actually really well done.
Yeah.
How they got the look right, and how he came across as like just mean looking and intimidating.
Yeah, and I think that intimidation is the word that you're right looking for, and I think that's what you want to see, right? Something like that. It translates.
Gives you that vibe.
Yeah, like off
It's not just some big teddy bear.
You're
looking
like-
at it. He actually, you look at him and you're like, "Whoa, I wouldn't want to mess with him."
Yeah, because when you look at Chewbacca, he's big. He's kind of like a puppy dog, right? But yet he's not.
No.
He could rip you apart. But you get the impression that Chewbacca is a good guy.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy, no. And what I think I like about that, speculation wise, is there other bounty hunters possibly going to get involved for team ups, things like that.
I think with the direction it's going, I think we're going to get a lot of that. I think we're going to see a lot of factions come together, and there might be some teaming up or reinforcements in terms of bounty hunters or other characters like that. So I think we're in for a treat with a lot of cameos, a lot of special appearances by characters we've kind of seen glimpses of, and they'll get maybe a little bit bigger part.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would love to see guys like Dengar
Or Boss.
Yeah, even an IG-88 or something like that. Something maybe even Zuckus. Let's bring him back.
Bring them all on.
Where's those guys?
I'll take any one that they're going to throw at us. It's kind of cool that you get to see these guys, and if you can flesh them out a little bit more, and we get to see a little bit more of their personalities or their skills or whatever else on actual live action film. That's gonna be cool.
Well, I mean, and I think the amazing part about it is you get a snippet, in Empire Strikes Back of this bounty hunter faction that and you're like,
yeah, they all look they look cool and they're intimidating, but they didn't give us anything. They just kind of give us a glimpse, and that's too bad. But it was cool.
Well, yeah, and so then obviously we get past the Hutts, we get into that, and then we get kind of back into the back of tank.
Yeah, and he starts having his flashbacks again.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You said you love that stuff.
Yeah.
You love the episode.
Oh yeah.
I love how well done it was. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna lie. Going into the series, I did not expect this.
Yeah,
and
you're not finding flashbacks.
I'm not opposed to them. It's not where I thought they were gonna go with it. Mm-hmm. I'm not disappointed, but it's not what I hoped for. If that sounds right. Yeah. But I'm not enjoying it. Mm-hmm. But I was expecting something different.
And I like that lore, that backstory, kind of fleshing out characters that maybe wouldn't necessarily get information on. I've always loved the little bits and pieces.
I love. I'm kind of agreeing with you because I love that too.
Yeah.
I was wishing for something different. I was wishing for the more ruthless side of him in the backstory, and just not really fleshing out exactly what has gone on since the Sarlacc pit, because that would be cool too, maybe if it was something different, but this just caught me off guard. But it's still all right. Like, it's been really well done.
Yeah, and I think what really kind of catches me or gets me intrigued by this whole thing is take one species in the galaxy, in the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders, and we've seen from the Mandalorian, now we've seen here, fleshed out and getting the real
they're not the one-dimensional characters we thought they were. We get to see the different sides of, like they explained in this episode, the different tribes are different. Some of them are murderous and whatnot. Some of them are loyal or honorable. Like this tribe seems to be.
Yeah, learn the ways of the land, of where they're from, and I think it's kind of cool because I don't know, I'm interested in it. I'm interested in that. I got a figure of a sand person, the Tusken Raider, back when you're 8, and it's super cool. And you're like, well, who's this guy? It's and you think of it as a bad guy, right? And that's what you see, because you see Star Wars and New Hope, and you're
back then it was clear cut. It was like good guy, bad guy.
And there was no crossing the lines. It's like, this is a bad guy, this is a good guy. Now I think seeing this fleshed out, seeing the backstory, and then kind of training Boba, or just actually accepting him as a Tusken Raider in a sense, right?
Well, and he earned his spot there too.
Yeah,
he became part of the tribe, not just by being there.
Yeah,
he helped them. He was helping protect them. He was helping them to stop the train with the spice smugglers.
Yeah, the Pike syndicate. Right? Yeah. And that's great because you get that, and you're getting that other crime syndicate involved, and they're going to start a war.
Well, and I think we're going to see so much more after he sent the Pikes back to whoever they're dealing with.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be something much larger, and I think what we discussed before, I think we're going to see something from Crimson Dawn. It's going to be big underworld, and it doesn't get any bigger than that really in Star Wars.
Well, that's it, and I think you have so many possibilities of different cameos. Like I said, they've talked about this numerous times, the cameos and who's going to be in it. You get a flashback or a Maul or something like that. I don't know.
Do we get Han Solo? Do we get Kira?
Yeah.
And one more. I'm still wondering if this is going to happen. I'm going to throw it out there.
Okay.
We got the flashbacks in the first episode, and they really fleshed out a scene where he was young and he picked up the helmet again.
Yeah.
Is he alive? Are we still going to see a flashback or a return of Mace Windu?
Mace Windu. Yeah.
Will we see Samuel L. Jackson back? Because he confirmed with George. George said he wasn't dead.
Yeah, that's right. I remember reading that, and
like, how cool would that be if we get Mace back?
Mace Windu. Really, he just flew out the window.
well, I'm sure he's messed up, but
I mean, Krrsantan is pretty big. They're built a city built upon city, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you could have fallen quite a few stories. there.
Yeah, but that that could be one of the big cameos. Like I think we're gonna.
Wouldn't that be something?
There's talk of a bigger cameo than Luke, and that could be Han, because that's a big cameo too.
Yeah,
Having
that's big.
Harrison
Yeah.
Ford back,
Yeah.
but having Mace Windu come back too, that'd be a pretty cool one.
It'd be very unassuming. You would not expect.
No, that's
Mace
exactly
Windu.
it. You know, you're not
So-
really looking for that.
What would the purpose of Mace Windu? Would it be because Boba has some resentment towards?
Well, you're
him
expecting if there was a return, you would expect Boba and him to,
to clash up?
and if Boba Fett is becoming this honorable person, would he be doing that at this point? Would he?
Does he forgive him? I don't know.
I don't know.
Would you bring back just for that? I don't.
Because you might get that tug and pull, like of
Mhm.
is Boba going to be this guy who forgives him or lets him off the hook,
Yeah.
or is it all a turn and he?
Like the
You can
thing-
go so many different ways with it.
Well, I know. I mean, and like you said, you want to see Boba Fett as being ruthless, and because I mean that's how we imagine Boba Fett being.
The best bounty hunter,
Yeah.
and you know everybody feared him.
And right now, we're not really getting the ruthlessness. Right
yeah,
now,
I'm not
and-
getting the Boba Fett vibe that I want.
Yeah. So I mean that's interesting. Does it go that route? Does he become more of like your traditional good guy?
I don't think he's ever going to be a traditional good guy
I don't know.
per se. But the other thing that kind of comes up is we see him so much without his helmet,
Yeah,
and that takes away a lot of the mystique.
it does.
That does change things.
Yeah, you put the helmet on, and
It completely changes the dynamic.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you really don't know facial expressions, right? You don't know what Boba Fett is thinking, and
And it's almost
so-
better that way. You're
Yeah.
left wondering what's going on behind the mask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, like I mean, in Return of the Jedi, the simple head nod to when Princess Leia was in there as the bounty hunter there, dressed up, and the quick nod, it's like it's just those little the things. It's like yeah, I know what Boba Fett's thinking there. It's like, hey, respect to you for bringing the Wookiee in, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and then normally you don't have that. You don't know what their thinking is, or facial expressions are such a big part of interaction, right? So yeah, I think I mean the ruthlessness of Boba Fett with this honor thing, it's a dynamic that we're gonna have to see.
Yeah,
Like, is
there's
it gonna-
lots of time for it to play out. Like,
Yeah.
and if all the episodes are kind of getting closer to this length, and this episode was what, just over 50
yeah,
minutes.
50 minutes. Yeah,
That was perfect. That was awesome.
it was a good length.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was too long or too short.
Those short episodes, like the Mandalorian had some
Oh,
episodes
yeah.
where they're like 30 minutes, 35 minutes,
Yes.
and it's just a little too short. 50 minutes is perfect. You get a fleshed out episode where you can actually, nothing's rushed. It doesn't feel rushed. You can actually play out the whole episode, and this episode actually was, perfect.
One last thing I was gonna say, the difference between I like about this and maybe the Mandalorian. Mandalorian felt or feels like that Western,
The spaghetti Western, yeah.
spaghetti Western, the kind of like campy, like, oh hey, what kind of adventure are you gonna go on next?
Because it is.
Tune in next week,
With that, we didn't know what to expect, right?
No.
It wasn't an established character, and I love that about it.
Oh yeah.
And this
feels more rooted to Star Wars.
it's
to
a
me.
little bit more in the lore of Star Wars.
Yeah. It feels more like a traditional movie type scenario. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, it's a Star Wars movie. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, I think it's good so far. 2 episodes in.
It's like I said, I'm thinking it's really well done. It's not going exactly how I would have liked it, but at the same time, it's leaving me guessing, right? So you don't know what to expect and what's going to come. They're going in a different direction than I thought they would. See how it plays out.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your thoughts, comments. Throw them in the comment section below, and I guess we'll see you next episode.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.